Hey girls, so today's video is going to be a comparison of my M.A.C Studio Fix Pressed Powder and my Australis Fresh and Flawless Pressed Powder. So these two are basically the same thing. With most pressed powders, they're just kind of like a sheer coverage, just mainly used to set your makeup and mattify it. Whereas these are a powder foundation, so they're going to give you a light to medium coverage depending on how much you use. Now the reason I wanted to compare these is because M.A.C Studio Fix Powder is $49 here in Australia, while the Australis Fresh and Flawless is $11.40. So Australis is an Australian brand that's available here in Australia and New Zealand, and they definitely took a lot of inspiration from M.A.C for the product and the packaging. So they both come in a black case. The Australis one is quite a bit shinier though. This one has 14 grams of product, this one has 12, so the M.A.C does have a bit more, but still, I mean, $49, $11.40. Obviously this one is still better value for your money. And also I actually bought this when Australis was having like a 20% off sale or something like that, so I got it even cheaper, and that's what I would definitely recommend doing. Just waiting till Australis has a sale, like in Target, Priceline or something like that, whereas M.A.C never has sales. It would be good if it did though. Okay, so when you open the products, again, the packaging is really similar. They both come with a mirror, and then if you flip it up, they both have a sponge applicator. I don't actually use mine, I prefer to use a brush, although the sponge in my M.A.C one is completely filthy and covered in product because I let my cousin play with it. But yeah, like I said, I prefer to use a brush. I like to use my Stippling Brush by Eco Tools. This came with the Alicia Silverstone I can't say her name. This one came with the Alicia Silverstone set for $35, and it came with like a brush roll and a bunch of other brushes. Love this brush, I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, the reason I use a stippling brush is because I don't know, I find like with a normal powder brush, they're never dense enough and they just kind of place the product on top of my skin. Whereas with a stippling brush, I find it can actually buff the product into my skin, and it gives like a more flawless finish. So as far as the powders themselves, I honestly can't find a difference. I've been wearing them and comparing them for like 2-3 weeks now, and I just can't find a difference. Today I'm wearing M.A.C on this side of my face and Australis on this side of my face. And you guys probably can't tell because I don't have a HD camera and the lighting is quite dodgy, but they look exactly the same, perfectly fine. They give the same amount of coverage. They both keep my face matte during the day. I have quite oily skin, like oily combination, so they're really good at keeping my skin matte. And I really like the whole foundation powder kind of idea for a powder because I have quite problem skin, so I wear full coverage foundation, and then I really like using a full coverage powder to set it on top because I don't know, it gives me a bit more confidence that I know my skin is looking nice. So like on a day-to-day basis, I'll just use a light dusting of this just to kind of set my makeup and keep it matte, whereas when I'm going out like at night or something like that with friends, then I'll wear a little bit more just to give myself a flawless finish. Yeah, I just really like these products. The only thing M.A.C has over Australis is their colour range. Australis only has 3 shades you can choose from. I've got the lightest, which is natural, and then they've got 2 which are darker. Whereas the M.A.C comes with a large selection of shades. I've got mine in NC15, so basically they match up with the M.A.C colouring system for foundations and powders and stuff like that. NC15 is the lightest, and I find these two are like the perfect match. You know, they're both similar. So yeah, that's one good thing about M.A.C. But honestly, if you can find a shade that matches you by Australis, I would definitely recommend buying this over M.A.C. I mean, they're basically the same product, except this one's $49, this one is $11.40. Luckily, I didn't actually spend $49 on my Studio Fix powder. I bought it when I was in London, so it was quite cheaper compared to here in Australia. I can't remember the exact price, but yeah, honestly, I think once I finish this, I'm not going to repurchase it. I mean, maybe if I go overseas again in like 5 years, I may rebuy it, but I just don't want to spend $49 on a powder like this, especially when I can get something which is equally as good by Australis for $11.40. So yeah, just go for Australis if you can find a shade that matches you. If you can't, then maybe try M.A.C Studio Fix, or just try another brand. Like, I'm sure you can find something from the drugstore like Priceline, which is a lot cheaper compared to $49 for M.A.C. I don't know, I just think it's crazy how expensive M.A.C is here in Australia, and I honestly don't think it's worth it. $49, just too much. So yeah, that's the end of my comparison for my M.A.C Studio Fix powder and my Australis Fresh and Flawless powder. I keep making myself go white. But yeah, really like these two products, but I would recommend the Australis, just much better value for money. If you guys have any questions about either of the products, just let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. But yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see you guys later.